I think we were all wondering where Red and Nikon would go with this partnership, and if this is a first look into where they want to go, I think the rest of the industry kind of need to step up their game, and fast. This is the new Nikon ZR, a full-frame cinema camera capable of shooting 6K 60 frames per second in 12-bit Red Code RAW NE. The first camera that blends Red's color science with Nikon's Z-line autofocus, and with 32-bit flow internal audio, all in a body that can fit in one hand and that won't break your wallet. We've got a lot to unpack here with this camera, and we're taking the ZR on a documentary style shoot and a mock wedding style shoot. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to be shooting with Mitch Bloomer, who's a DP that's been using the Nikon ZR for a while now. And we're going to be shooting a doc-style interview and a few different setups with Chef Raquel as she goes through her food making process.
So yeah, we're like just kind of landing our setup here. I think we're like pretty much, set up, maybe minus some minor tweaks.
Sure.
But basically what I got for you here is like, we got our hero wide shot here. I wanted to kind of get a feeling for the setting of a kitchen here, and our lovely chef here, Raquel, is sitting in for us right now, and wanted to key her with a really soft, kind of broad source that contrasts in color to these kind of warm pops that we have in the background, and also to this even cooler window that we have in the background. So she's kind of lit to a kind of middle ground white. So you kind of get this full color range in the frame, which I really like.
It looks awesome, man. What lenses are we using on this?
So we're on the AIS primes. I'm on the 50 1.2 for the main shot, and then the off angle is an 85 1.4.
So in these scenarios, we're highlighting how good the ZR can be for an A cam in a smaller production, and even a great B cam if you're shooting on other Reds like the Raptor or the Komodo, how good and versatile this camera can be. So behind me, Mitch is setting up this fantastic 2-camera setup. We've got 2 ZRs, and we're using a 50 and 85 of the Nikon AIS vintage lenses, and they look fantastic. But we actually have technically 4 focal lengths here because we're shooting in 6K on a 4K timeline. So if we need to highlight or emphasize a point or hide a jump cut, we can punch in on that 4K timeline and not lose any resolution thanks to that 6K footage. So it's really impressive, like the dynamic range you see. Like we've got like the window here and then this dark section. It's like crazy impressive. And we've got a red LUT baked in right now. Not baked in, but it's on the monitor here.
Yeah, so we're monitoring on the monitor. I've applied the red LUT with the film bias.
Cool.
And like you said, I mean, we're really kind of maximizing the dynamic range in this shot. If you look out the window here, you've got some hydrangeas that are getting hit with direct light, and so that's almost as pure white as you're gonna get. But I actually think there's still some texture and detail in there, which is nice. And these lenses really render those out of focus forms nicely, which I think is helping with that as well. And then over here, you really are kind of more into the shadow area or some of these dark areas on the stove. I mean, you're almost at a full rich black. And so we really are kind of using the full gamut of the camera here, which is awesome. Which is fun.
We also have a ton of color information here. We're shooting in 12-bit Red Code RAW. Yes, 12-bit Red Code RAW in a camera this size. So in layman's terms, what does that mean? It basically means you have so much color information. You have 68.7 billion colors of individual shades that the camera can pick up. So when you're pushing that color grade in your editing, you'll get cleaner gradations and transitions from one color to the other. But not only that, because we're shooting in Red Code RAW, we have full control over our white balance in post-production, and we have full control over our ISO, which is mind-blowing for a camera of this size. So although we should be trying to get it right in camera, you know better than that, we have the safety option of being able to do it in post-production.
You can see that out the window, especially on these like white hydrangeas that are getting hit by direct sunlight, it appears to be peaking. But if we look at it just raw without the LUT, you can see that actually you have full detail on all those hydrangeas, and we're well within the limits of the dynamic range that the RAW can display.
And with the Nikon ZR, we have a dual base ISO of 800 and 6400, so a ton of flexibility no matter your lighting situation. And this is great because you'll also be able to match with other RED cameras like the Raptor and the Komodo in post-production to get a really nice consistent image throughout your project. But for you Nikon shooters out there, if you have a Z8 or a Z9 and you want to use that as your B camera, we also have NRAW, ProRes RAW, and ProRes 422 for a ton of flexibility no matter what codec you're shooting in.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're basically ready to go here. It was last tweak, I think just stopped down just like a third of a stop. I think we're basically there, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, it looks great.
Awesome. So one great thing about the ZR is we've got a massive 16x10 4-inch monitor here. It's 3 million dots, so it's really high resolution, and it's 1000 nits. So even in broad daylight in the middle of the day, you're not going to have a problem with this. And it's got all the things you need: waveform, histogram, level, audio monitors. So for me, I don't really like using external monitors. They can get in the way. So this is a game changer in that kind of sense.
And I actually am like a big onboard monitor guy, but for this kind of a setup, I feel super comfortable just having this screen. It's big enough I can see the focus clearly, and it just feels good.
And one more thing from me is, because we're using manual lenses here, we have the zoom rocker that really punches into several levels of zoom. So you can like, essentially, I'm on just Raquel's left eye here, so I can really dial in the focus and then just punch straight back out. So if you can't get focus with that, you're not going to be able to get focused with anything. And while I have you here, we have the new shotgun mic. We have the MED10. Now this is a really nice little hot shoe mic that is on. We have a digital hot shoe here on the ZR, so no cables needed. We've got, it can get in focus or pure. Pure video, basically it's omnidirectional, it's capturing everything. But I've got it in pure right now because I want to get Raquel's voice for a nice audio so it syncs easily in post. And we have 32-bit flow in all of the audio sources in this camera, which is a game changer. So on this mic, I have 32-bit audio built into the video file. If you're using just the internal mics, you've got 32-bit flow. If you're using the 3.5mm jack, 32-bit flow audio. So you are really covered, and it's nice to have that safety net, although we should always be getting our audio levels correct in camera, same as the white balance and the ISO, but really nice that we have this extra little bit of safety.
Let's roll cameras.
Roll.
8 speeds.
7 speed.
And just for a good measure here, just tell me what you had for breakfast real quick, just so I can get an audio check.
Oh, sunny side eggs and toast and hash browns.
Okay, sounds great. So what are you cooking for us today?
I'm making a ricotta gnocchi, and then from the market we picked up some really great veggies. So we have some eggplant, some zucchini and squash, and I'll be sauteing it with our pasta. You know, what's nice about pasta, I mean, I have little kids. It's something versatile, you know, and easy to do, and it's cheap, and you can transform it any way you want. It's pretty cool.
How are you feeling?
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sit here and get your whole life story, but no, so we're feeling good. All right, great.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, cool, so let's cut.
So now the interview is done, but with every doc, we need a story. So we're going to be following Chef Raquel around Ridgefield Organics here to not only get some tasty B-roll, but get some tasty products that she's going to cook. And as this is a little bit of a tight space and a little bit more run and gun, me and Mitch are going to be going a bit handheld to test out the ZR's 7.5 stops of IBIS. And then Mitch is going to throw on the gimbal to get some really amazing tracking shots and get a bit more dynamic movement through this amazing space. And we're shooting in 6K, 24 frames a second in red code RAW. Because the lighting is pretty tricky here, we've got a really overcast day and really warm lighting in here. So it's really a kind of tricky lighting situation, but the ZR is handling this perfectly. And as we're shooting in red code RAW, if we mess it up a little bit, we can change that after the fact in post. It is fantastic. So one thing that really impressed me is how sticky that autofocus is. Usually when I'm shooting video, I don't use the whole area autofocus because I don't really trust that cameras that I've used in the past will lock onto the eyes at all times. But on the ZR, it is locked on. Even when the subject is being blocked by certain produce down here, it's sticky, it's going nowhere. And the depth of field we're getting from these Nikon lenses is to die for. So in this situation where we've got not the ideal lighting conditions and really tight spaces, the ZR is coming in clutch with not only its size, but the image quality we're getting. I'm blown away. So we're setting up behind us, we've got some cooking shots that we're gonna do now, and we've been shooting in Red Code RAW NE for the majority of the day. But if this is your first cinema camera or you're not that confident in color grading, that might be a bit intimidating for you. Well, fear not, because the Nikon ZR has you covered. We've got a bunch of different picture controls in there, which will basically bake in a look straight out of camera. So if you've got a fast turnaround or you don't have a colorist, this is a fantastic option. Red have actually produced some of these themselves, so you get that red look straight out of camera. This is awesome. Let's go try it out. For documentary style filmmaking, the Nikon ZR is a fantastic option no matter what your budget. If this is your first camera and this is your first step into the world of documentary filmmaking, even though it's a tiny package, you can get fantastic, really powerful results. Or if you're on a large production and you're using Red Komodos or Raptors, this is a fantastic option for a B cam, and you can put it in places that those larger box style cameras wouldn't be able to be. Such as this top-down shot that might be a little bit more difficult with a Komodo or Raptor. And since we're shooting in Red Code RAW, you can match the footage really easily to those Komodos and Raptors. But just be careful, because they're gonna eat up a ton of footage of those large 12-bit files. But speaking of eating up, I'm gonna have some of this gnocchi because it looks delicious, and oh my God, really nice. But what about if you're a run and gun filmmaker and you're running around doing 8 hours a day shooting a wedding, for example? What's the Nikon ZR like for them? Well, we made a mock wedding situation to find out that very question. So when you're filming weddings, you often find yourself in kind of tight spaces that are not the best well lit when you're filming the bride and groom getting ready. For example, we're in this room right now. It looks awesome, but it's not very well lit. It's kind of dark. We've got wood panels. We've got Chenille here looking fantastic in his tux. And we're gonna use the 35-1.2, which is a fantastic lens to really open up and get those dreamy shots. But also we have dual base ISO here. We've got 800 and 6400. We're shooting ProRes 422 HQ. So the file sizes are a little bit smaller than the Red Code RAW NE. And we're still shooting in N-Log, so really flexible in post-production. So let's see what we can get. So now we're just here and the bride is getting ready, getting their makeup done. And again, another bonus of the ZR is it's so lightweight and such a small package. It's not intimidating for your couples on their wedding day. Again, really stressful environment on the wedding day for some people. If you come in with an easy rig, a box style camera, might be a bit much for them, and especially in rooms like this where the things, if you wear an easy rig, you're hitting the thing and you're getting taken away. You don't want that. So even though we have the larger S-line lenses, we're getting the best image quality that the Nikon Z mount has to offer here. The autofocus is fantastic. So let's get a couple of shots. We're gonna mix between 60 and 24 frames per second. Oh, and one thing, I have it in shutter angle, so we're at 180 degrees. And I've actually locked this off this front wheel here, so if I turn that, it's doing nothing. I have it at 180. I don't need to change that no matter what frame rate I go in. It's gonna look fantastic with the motion blur. So I've locked this off, don't need to worry about it. Just one less thing. In stressful environments like when you're shooting weddings, you just wanna think about as little as possible. We've got the bride and groom getting ready. We've used those beautiful S-line primes to get fantastic detail shots. But now, once they've been married and we're in the middle of the day, Usually when you're shooting like video portraits, the lighting is really harsh as it is right now. So I've flipped over to a 24-70. This is the brand new 24-70 S Mark II. It's actually the world's first internal zooming 24-70, which makes it really ideal on a gimbal. And I love to be able to use this ZR on a gimbal because again, it's so lightweight. I've balanced this. I could use this all day. I've got it connected to the gimbal so I can shoot from here remotely without any wires. So this is a really compact setup that we're gonna get some amazing dynamic moving shots, as well as some powerful video portraits. So let's get started. So overall, I've had an absolute blast shooting with the Nikon ZR. I mean, first of all, how compact it is, it's truly amazing, but it feels so nice in the hands. It's really a premium feeling camera. I would like a little bit more grip on here because I was a little bit sweaty outside, so I was scared of dropping it. I'm also really clumsy, but there is a nice indentation here so you can get a solid grip on it. The autofocus, I said, incredible. It's some of the best I've ever used. And also the IBIS, if anyone knows me shooting, I drink a lot of coffee, so I'm pretty shaky, but this was rock solid and so nice to use. Even when I was using the 135 handheld, the Planner, that was solid. Really surprising that that's gonna be usable footage that we can use shooting handheld at 135. And yes, this is a cinema camera, but Nikon really have thought of everything. If you turn this vertical and you want to shoot some social content, the menu system turns with you, so it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more smooth when you're shooting those vertical clips. And we also have a dedicated photo video switch. So if you want to grab a YouTube thumbnail, for example, you can switch that over. Or if you're out and about and you want to grab a quick photo, you definitely can do that with the ZR. And although it doesn't have a viewfinder, this 4-inch screen is so bright, even in any lighting situation, you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to see what you can pose in. Now, would I like a full-size HDMI? Of course, but having that 4-inch screen again kind of negates the purpose of having an external monitor on there. And I would say I like dual card slots. We do have a second slot of a micro SD for proxies and uploading, but it would have been nice to have 2 CF Express Type Bs, but the price point that we have here, you get so much camera. It's truly mind-blowing. But those are my thoughts on the new Nikon ZR. This is Nikon and Red's first dual venture. Can't wait to see what they do in the future. But what do you think? Let me know in those comments. But in the meantime, I've been Matt, and thanks for watching.
Introducing the new PayBoo credit card. You can save the tax or choose special financing for your purchases made on your PayBoo credit card. It's easy. The new PayBoo card, same funny name, your choice of exclusive benefits. Apply today.